Good morning, everyone. That's right, more good news Wednesday. More good news for me, more good news for you. Back from San Francisco and Las Vegas, I want to thank LinkedIn. I want to thank Apollo. I want to thank F1 and especially my daughter, Clinton Sparks, Austin Eckler. You guys are amazing. We're going to be rocking and rolling this week. We'll be in Madison, Wisconsin, Friday and Saturday. Come and join us for a meetup to watch Ohio State whoop up on the Wisconsin Badgers. But then we'll be in Chicago on Sunday. Hopefully you can join us there. And then back to go fund yourself and a variety of other things going on. So email me if you want to meet up, david@dmeltzer.com. If you want to be invited and informed on the 200 cities we're in, 949-298-2905. We are blessed to have the best community of people that are more interested than interesting, asking questions. We're making the introductions and answering those questions to help our community get to where they want to be or better. Blessed to be here. Let's take a quick question on More Good News Wednesday. Remember, Wednesday is no longer hump day. Nothing to get over, get through, get around. You don't have to lie to it, cheat it, manipulate it, or deny it. Simply supply it with positivity, with the light, the love, and the lessons that you learn. And so there we go. Any new books you're reading that you are resonating with you? Funny you should ask, because there is a book, and it's When Everyone Knows That Everyone Knows. And it's an exceptional book written by Steven Pinker, Pinker. We should probably get him on here, actually, and talk about this amazing book, When Everyone Knows That Everyone Knows, talking about common knowledge and how today common knowledge is utilized and what impact common knowledge has in a variety of different aspects of personal and professional lives. And so if you're looking for a good read, Steven Pinker, if you want to pre-order a great read, there it is. You can pre-order Don't Do Business with Dicks, available at Super Bowl. We started our early pre-order campaign with the Super Bowl, with the season launch, and we'll be promoting it all throughout the football season, culminating on Radio Row at Super Bowl. Don't do business with dicks. It's been a great lesson and journey for me. All right, let's bring on our friends here today, waiting for Bam Franklin to help with the houselessness issues that we have, and let's all eradicate people that do not have a house or even a home. So really looking forward to that. Let's take another question. That is good. All right, question. At the rally event in Indiana, you brought up something that related to Stoicism. Do you follow any of it? So I learned from everything, all philosophies, theories, religions, and spirituality. So with Stoicism, I'm trying to appreciate the differences between Stoicism and other philosophies, like the Tao, and understanding within the context of a variety of different things, how can I appreciate the differences? And that's where the space is. And remember, there's no music if there was only notes. The music is created by the space between the notes. Einstein taught that as well. So look for the space between the notes with philosophies, theories, all of our music, by understanding the space between the notes, by understanding and appreciating our differences and the differences in philosophies and those types of things. There he is in a green light. It's like an aura. It's amazing. Bam Franklin, coming to the light, my friend.
I
Welcome.
know.
Founder and CTO at bamgives.com.
Man,
You and I are both on a mission to empower so many people, and all the great cities in America have a real challenge, and there's not enough places affordable for people to live. And we have a houselessness problem, and it creates a whole different impact on all these great cities that we have. And so you have created this great organization with bamgives.com. What are we doing today, and what are you doing today to eradicate houselessness?
Yeah, thank you so much, David. I so appreciate you and the works that you do. And thank you so much for having me available to be interviewed. And so one of the things that's important to us is that we not call people we see on the streets or living in their cars. Let's not use the de facto standard term homeless. We're recommending that we use the de facto term in a politically correct unhoused. In our opinion, unhoused equals unknown. We don't know what the contributing factor was or is for that person. And then just have two very simplistic buckets. Bucket one, in no special order, is homeless, which is directly related to mental health as well as substance abuse. And then houseless is directly related to economics. And one of the things about the economic piece, it's really easy to address, as easy as one, two, three. One, in no special order, by the way, is jobs, getting paid on W-2, entrepreneurship, which you are a tremendous advocate of, and so am I. And then last but not least, something we're going to see more and more of, and that is the guaranteed income. And so that's really the bottom line. Let's just not call people we see that are not in their homes and living in cars, living on street, unhoused versus de facto homeless.
And I'd love to know for people's awareness, and maybe you have the data, maybe you don't, maybe you have an estimate. Please remember that 99% of all statistics are made up. So we'll do our best to make up something that is aligned with the truth. But is there a percentage of how many people that we see are homeless versus houseless?
Yes, thank you for that question. It's really difficult to pinpoint definitively, but most people you talk to, around 90%, are dealing with major mental health issues, post-traumatic slavery syndrome for blacks, dealing with the PTSD for our vets, and that's around 90-ish percent. The economic piece is around 10%. So those are your general numbers.
And obviously, the homeless problem seems to be a much more difficult challenge. What I love about the houseless problem is it's easy to address and easy to solve. And, is significant of 90%, it's still significant if we were able to create the impact of finding jobs and supporting the houseless problem that we have. When we're dealing with drug abuse and mental issues and PTSD, it's a bigger challenge, and it also creates a different type of solution of care. Obviously, it's a lot less expensive to find a solution for a houseless person than a homeless person, and it's a much more profitable solution for our own cities and counties to find that solution first because it creates this great abundance. Where exactly is BAM today with BAM Gives? How are you focusing in on this widespread problem? Is there certain cities that you started in, or how do you help initially to spread the word?
Yes, well, I'm in Los Angeles, California, the epicenter of the largest unhoused population in the United States of America. And something that I do personally is every Wednesday today, actually, shortly after we have our live, I'll be heading to Skid Row. Skid Row has been around for over 100 years, and we need places for people that are down on their luck to go to get fed, housed, and things of that nature. However, our objective is those that are dealing, again, with economic issues, which we call houseless. What we do is we actually engage with their mobile phones that come through the Obama program. So we give them a mobile phone through one of our partners, and we teach them how to be an entrepreneur selling an ad. There's over 240,000 businesses in downtown Los Angeles. And so what we do with that houseless person is we put them in our database, and they get a tracking ID. They get a flyer from us. Everything is no charge, by the way. And that flyer says advertise with BAM for the one-time fee of $199. Half of that goes to that houseless person. So when you do the math of $99.50, one referral per day to a business owner is over $36,000 a year. And their pitch to the business business owner is, do you have an advertising budget? Yes or no? And most people are going to say no. And though when they say no, that houseless person says, well, if you did, you can advertise with BAM and I will earn 50% of the 199, one a day, and I am off the street. And now we're actually putting systems in place to actually eradicate and solve the problem, because we have a patent pending on our three-way referral program. So every time that business owner refers another business owner to advertise with BAM.eco, that unhoused person, that houseless person is going to earn a commission. So they'll be generating revenue not only for their own effort, but also the business owner that sees the value of collaborating with us with our initiative to, again, provide entrepreneurship for the houseless using their mobile phones that cost them nothing. Thank you so much, David.
That is so cool and so helpful. It's sources are there. How do you qualify on Skid Row between knowing they may have some mental difficulties versus just economic challenges?
Yeah, it's really easy. We've been doing this a long time, David. So we have four very simple questions, and all of them are yes or no. So question number one, do you have a mobile phone? Yes or no? And if the person says no, and then we say, do you have any of the federal programs, EBT, SSI, any of the federal programs? Yes or no? If it's yes, it's okay, we can get you a phone. Great. Then the second question is, do you know how to scan a QR code from a mobile phone? Yes or no? If the answer is no, then we go to question number three. Question number three is, do you know how to go to a website from a mobile phone? Yes or no? They say no to that. Our last qualifying question to that person is, can you text BAM to 323-451-5050? And if they can do any one of those, two, three, or four, we can help them, David. If they can't do two, three, or four, their technology aptitude is too low for us. And so hopefully one of the churches or one of the nonprofits will help that person with some of their needs. And they can go to that church or the nonprofit and actually get some skills enhanced so that they can do two, three, or four. And I'll put a link in the chat so people would like to take a look at this data and the works that we do. I'll put the solutions page in the chat. So thank you so much for asking that, David.
Yeah, well, we want to be supportive of you. Now, last question before I let you go, and we're going to put you on more of our shows and elevate the awareness. And I'm going to invite you to SoFi Stadium on November 12th. We're going to be doing a big day there. We have a monthly mastermind to elevate people like you and the content and relationships in Los Angeles, specifically for people that want to help each other, know people that help each other. Um, you have talked about here in Los Angeles, how can people support this organization that may have a business outside of LA or may just want to, donate to the cause as well, to help these individuals find a place to live?
Well, as you know, David, I'm a technologist at the highest level, and so domains are really important to us. And so we bought a domain because people that are listening to this that really want to engage with us and collaborate with us, that includes you, we bought BAMDavid.com. I'm Bam, you're David. So Bam,
Yeah.
that's me. And you're
Yes.
David. BAMDavid.com. That'll take you to our site, bam.eco. Please advertise with us, share it so that David benefits, we benefit, and the unhoused benefit. So thank you so much for asking. So it's BAMDavid.com. Thank you so much, David.
I'm going to go to bamdavid.com. Let me just tell you that BAM holds a duplicative love in my heart. Not only is it your name and the company's name, but it's the initials of my youngest brother.
Wow.
His nickname is Bam as well. And you guys together are Bam Bam. So let's knock out houselessness with the Bam Bam methodology. Go to bamdavid.com. Thank you so much. I'll make sure my team reaches out, have you out to SoFi. Let's elevate the awareness to solve houselessness and also support and assist in homelessness as well. We are here for the greater good, as you know, on my mission to empower over a billion people to be happy. You're teaching people to make more money, help more people, and have more fun. Bam, anything we can do to be of service or value, go to bamdavid.com. Thank you so much, my friend.
I appreciate you, love you, and I appreciate all that you bring to the universe. Thank you so much, David.
Right back at you. More Good News Wednesday with heroes in our city. One of those heroes is Bam Franklin. Go to bamdavid.com. Let's eradicate houselessness and assist in the bigger challenge of homelessness. Make sure you decipher between the two. One is economic and one is a health hazard, epidemic. It's time to hammer out some more problems here, and no better person to hammer out those problems than Dr. Greg Hammer. He's a Stanford University professor, we all know, and a physician, best-selling author, and someone I really want to learn from, a mindful expert. I always give this caveat. I'm good friends with John Hennessy, who you probably know there at Stanford. And I got rejected by Stanford, by the way, for undergrad and law school. I'm in the majority. I've been told. My two younger brothers got in and rejected Stanford just to make me feel that much less about myself, and went to Harvard and Penn instead. And I literally think it was a passive aggressive move, to be honest. I'm blessed to be able to speak at Stanford every once in a while, but I asked John Hennessy for an honorary degree for all that I've done in this space. And he told me, David, I give it to you, but I don't think you could handle the coursework. And I think there's a slight of insult there, but I'm not sure. Anyway, I have huge respect for Stanford, and I just think it's a fabulous place. And the professors there are a great combination of the research, but truly the pragmatic practice. You don't just get theory at Stanford. And although, spoke at Princeton, there's a lot of theory that's changed the world at Princeton, as well as, some of our heroes there in Princeton, like Einstein. But your new book is really critical, even to what we were previously talking about. The book is a mindful teen. And if we want to take care of our future, we better take care of the mindset, the heart set, and the handset of our teens. And there's a huge energy gap between I am and this is what I want people to think I am. And so I was curious about what are some of the uh, key elements that kids are facing today that you bring up in the book to help kids with that mindset, heart set, and handset.
Well, first, David, it's great to be with you again
Yes.
and enjoy all the work that you're doing. So please keep up the good work. And if you are visiting Mr. Hennessy at Stanford sometime, please let me know. I'd love to grab a cup of coffee or a beer, whatever works. So, yes, there
Love
are a
that.
number of
And if I ever
things.
can speak to your class, I would love to have that honor.
Yeah. Um, there's sort of my top five or six things that teens face that you and I certainly did not encounter as teenagers. The gun violence in schools, for example. I mean, we had nuclear fallout drills where we got under our desks, but we never really took that too seriously. It was sort of fun.
Yeah.
But now kids are genuinely anxious about gun violence in schools for good reason. Social media, like many aspects of new technology or newer technology, double-edged sword, some good things about it, but certainly it facilitates kids getting the wrong idea about their body image and shaming and bullying. And something I never heard of before I wrote the book and was researching these issues is called sextortion. So there are just, and obviously kids who have taken pictures of themselves that they might not want their parents to see that go
Oh, yeah.
viral and so on. So just, a lot of shame and bullying. The political divide was not like this when you and I were teenagers. And as a result, it's affecting relationships in families and among good friends who are no longer speaking to each other. Drugs, I mean, we certainly had drugs, but they weren't as lethal as they are now. And fentanyl being something that I've used tens of thousands of times, but when it is, you know, street drugs are laced with fentanyl. Obviously, there's lots of risk and overdose reports. I think college, David, is more and more competitive. And, I know lots of kids. My girlfriend has an 18-year-old who's at college now, but lots of her friends didn't get into a single school, even though they have 4.0 GPAs and lots of extracurriculars. And then finally, to round out my top six, I would say eco anxiety. Is there going to be an earth that's habitable for my kids and my grandchildren, we certainly never worried about that. So I think there's a lot of stress among teens, and that's why teen suicide is unfortunately more common, and depression and anxiety, two of the most common mental health issues that we all face, are much more common among teenagers.
Yeah, I have four children. One's still a teenager of the four, and understanding the role that parent plays in that anxiety as well. I will say maybe people can disagree with me. I don't believe there's a lazy kid out there. I believe there's lazy parents, and that extends out into the different philosophies or methodologies to help empower our children to understand and appreciate the fear that they have, the natural reaction that they have to that fear, and then how to respond to that natural reaction. And you created the GAIN method, which, by the way, has some of the core components. Number one, here, More Good News Wednesday, gratitude is the most powerful, I get choked up, thing in the world.
Yes.
And
Well, it's gratitude is intrinsic to happiness. That's why it's the first letter in the GAIN acronym: gratitude, acceptance, intention, non-judgment. We know people who may be physically challenged and happy, or poor and happy, but you can't even imagine somebody who's ungrateful and happy.
right. Yeah. You nailed it. So you talk about acceptance, intention, and of course, non judgment. Acceptance and non judgment go hand in hand. Gratitude is hand in hand. But I'm the chairman of Napoleon Hill Institute, and I study intention. I study a definiteness of purpose. I am still trying to figure out. Dr. Wayne Dyer was a mentor of mine, and he said, David, the thoughts about your purpose are your purpose. And that's almost existential in its nature, like Kierkegaard of I am. So I'm still working through the layers of that with humility. But without intention, gratitude, acceptance, and non judgment mean nothing. And it's very difficult to get the human being to be consistent and persistent and intentional about doing, saying, thinking, feeling, and believing gratitude and acceptance and non judgment. Where have you found some great tools or methods to help people just with a definiteness of purpose or intention to be grateful and accepting and non judgmental?
That's a great question, David. I think, first of all, we need to understand that our brains are hardwired for survival and not happiness.
Yeah.
So we have a negativity bias, right? We tend to
Yes.
embrace and remember the negative and forget the positive. When I look back on my career, the things that stand out are negative outcomes. I don't remember the positive outcomes so well. So the other thing is that happiness lives in the present moment, which is, as you know, the only moment we ever truly experience. And yet our minds are wired to go to the past and the future. And when you combine that with the negativity bias, we overthink the past and generate a lot of depression, and we overthink the future and generate a lot of fear and anxiety. So the first thing with regard to intention is to recognize that we all share these traits. These are the ways that our brains are hardwired. So the good news is we have this amazing quality called neuroplasticity, so we can change the way we think and are, in fact, or exist. And so once you recognize that, you realize, okay, my brain is hardwired for survival, not happiness. I want to be happy. It's a thing that almost 8 billion of us want. What do I do about it? So we have to have a plan to rewire our brains. We have to have a practice. So that's the intention. We
Mm.
need to have the intention to do this, just like keeping our physical bodies in shape. We obviously need to have a plan. I'm going to do this much cardio, this much weight training, or whatever it is that you enjoy that will keep your body fit. You have to have a
Perfect point.
plan and a regular practice, and that's the I in gain.
So interesting. I brought up Princeton and Einstein, and I study two things: time and relativity. So obviously, there's a lot of work done by Einstein in that realm. And I think relativity, especially time, is mistaught, but relativity is misunderstood. And so for me, in thing is this idea that we were born also with a hardwired capability of meaning. And whether it's Viktor Frankl or whoever has discussed this matter, to me, I find it empowering to help parents make sure that they're reinforcing to their children that I'm sorry, you have extraordinary gift and power to give meaning to everything you see.
Mhm.
And if you're not aligning the meaning of your experiences with where you want to be, then you're going to have resistance to where you want to be. And within the context of acceptance and unconditional behaviors, and of course, gratitude, we have to understand meaning. And then with practice comes your time versus, the aggregation, acceleration, the exponential outcomes that occur through, behaviors, practices every day. When I say relativity or meaning, in your mindfulness of changing the way you look at things and the things you look at change, do you feel as if this can be communicated to a teen that they, or is it like I am, just something that we'll figure out later on in life?
Oh, I think it can be definitely these principles, the game principles, for example, and as you put it, meaning or meaningfulness can definitely be taught, but they have to be exhibited by parents, teachers, coaches, and other caretakers of teenagers. So they're watching us and they know when we're BSing them. So we've got to walk the walk. And that's the primary way I think that kids and even teenagers learn. They learn by observing their parents, their coaches, their teachers, their etc. So we need to first embrace mindfulness and meaning ourselves, and then our kids will pick this up. I do think there are various practices. I think that when we sit down, we should try to have dinner together as a family. Not always possible, of course, especially with all the extracurricular things and the economy. Many of us are working late. But when we can, let's have dinner together, put the smartphones away, put them on silent, and also put them away. Um, Discuss gratitude and even acceptance, intention, non-judgment over the dinner table. Maybe do a little gratitude practice with our kids and teens before we have a meal that we share. I mean, let's face it, David, as you know, we all have so much for which to be grateful, especially when you look around the world at what's going on. We are, most of us, very, very fortunate. So let's have that practice and let's exhibit that gratitude with our kids. And, when we're driving them somewhere, if they're not driving themselves, let's talk about these other issues. But we have to embrace them ourselves and really, we have to be more mindful, focusing on the present moment without judgment intentionally. So I think that's the secret sauce. It's not that complicated.
Yeah, I think that's beautiful. I will tell you real quickly because I'm going to have you back and we're going to have that beer together up there at Stanford. My mom raised six kids on her own. She's an educator, second grade teacher. On her life, my siblings and I sent her to Columbia to get a PhD in education and curriculum. And I asked her what her number one takeaway was, and she said, "It's amazing. The number one common denominator." I had a Jewish mom, obviously, so this was very important to her. The number one common denominator of all Ivy League students was not their financial, it was not that they read more, it was that they had dinner with their families. Uh, Number one. So I think there's a lot to that. And just remember my mom as well. Very emotional today, but it takes great leaders and great people to teach, mentor, and coach. Not always easy. And I'm blessed to have a friend in my Stanford alum there, Dr. Greg Hammer, hammering home the feelings, meanings. Let's all work on gratitude, acceptance, intentional behavior, and of course, non judgment. Let's appreciate our differences. Thank you so much for writing the book, A Mindful Teen. Remember, teens, they are not taught, but they are caught the lessons. So the lessons are not taught, they are caught. Very important in that relationship with parents and, of course, their children. Greg, I look forward to seeing you. Thank you so much for joining me.
My pleasure, David. I look forward to our next sit down.
You got it available everywhere. Check out The Mindful Teen. Also good for people that aren't teens as well. Thanks, Doc. See you later.
Okay, David. See you.
Right on. What a great man. I love it. We're addressing the things that are most important. Very, very good. All right. Our final friend is patiently waiting. Went a little bit overboard. A damn good man. Adam Port is in the house. The art of Adam Port and his social media available work on his website. And he has an amazing current painting of my hero, the greatest competitor that I've ever met, is a guy named Michael Jordan. Some of you have maybe have heard of him, and you captured that desire that you must be what you can be in this current painting. I say, Adam, thank you so much for what you do.
Yeah, thanks, David. Appreciate you having me on here.
So we've done a lot together over the years with my business partner Warren Moon and many other greats. Um, when you're capturing the essence, it's more than a skill to depict the likeness, but it's more about capturing, like me on stage. I want you to feel something,
Sure.
and to translate that into art seems to be a gift that has passed me by, but you certainly have that. Do you think about the emotion while you're painting and what you're trying to capture emotionally beyond depicting the actual likeness?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, my paintings, as you know, they're very photorealistic, but it all starts with finding the right image to interpret. So, like you mentioned with the project I'm working on right now with Michael Jordan, like, I went through thousands and thousands of photos to find that right image that obviously satisfies the person who's commissioning the project, but also that captures, like you said, Michael Jordan's emotion and his competitiveness and his spirit and all that. So yeah, that's certainly important and in the forefront of my mind when I'm choosing the images for my paintings.
And you've done so many over the years. I think you started when you were about 22 years old and have been, really a leader and a legend now. That
Hmm.
just means you're getting old. From
Yeah,
everyone from Shaq to Starks to Lewis to Tiger,
yeah.
they're all there. Do you have a favorite?
Oh yeah, Michael Jordan, bar none. I mean, he was my
Really?
favorite. Yeah, for sure. I mean, when I started playing basketball when I was a little kid, probably around 10 years old, I mean, Michael Jordan was, a few years into the league and already the greatest, in many people's opinions. So I was obsessed with him right away. And, I played sports growing up. I was a serious athlete. So I always tried to, when I was driving in a hoop, think of Michael Jordan like every other kid. But when I transitioned into not just sports but painting and drawing, um, my inspiration was still Michael Jordan. I would always just find images of him to rip out of magazines and books, and that's kind of where I started copying images of Jordan. And that kind of continued through high school and college, and even to this day, like you mentioned earlier, what I'm working on right now, which I'm ecstatic about, is another piece of Michael Jordan. So yeah, he's number one all by himself for me.
And one of my best friends is a guy named Josh Luber, who's the founder
Sure,
of StockX as well as Fanatics
absolutely.
Collectibles. Incredible entrepreneur, but he was the first one to elevate my attention to a collection that I had that I didn't know I had, which was a sneaker collection. And because of all the years working with those companies, and because I represented so many great athletes like the ones that you depicted,
Sure.
people would always send me a pair in my size. So I got that, 9 along with the 13, 14, or 16,
Yep.
so that I would be motivated to have them wear them. Meanwhile, if I knew when they were sending me these shoes, instead of wearing them and giving them away, that I could have retired my great grandkids on those sneakers,
Sure.
I would have saved a lot more pairs.
Yeah.
But you actually create paintings of sneakers as well. Tell
Yep.
me how that came about. And, for you, obviously, you're a collector as well,
Sure.
how inspirational it is to use sneakers to depict the emotions as well.
Yeah, so again, go back to Michael Jordan. I grew up, idolizing him, and we all wanted his sneakers. And of course, I had the pumps and Adidas playing soccer. But throughout my life, I always wore and collected sneakers. And they also would pop up in my paintings from time to time. Of course, working on basketball players and football and other sports. But it wasn't until like 2018, 19 where I kind of taken a break from collecting for a few years, and I kind of got back into it right before COVID. And I also just recently gotten into an art gallery in New York City, and I wanted to do something not completely away from sports, but kind of change up from what I was doing for so many years. And I just thought, why don't I, focus on another one of my loves, which is an extension of sports, is sneakers. And so I actually pitched that idea to the gallery owner, and he loved it. And I started a series based off of sneaker culture. It wasn't just about, a particular sneaker, but it was about the history of that sneaker, who wore them and who designed them, and kind of just, pay homage to, everybody who's involved with that and just the history in and of itself. And yeah, so I started that, like I said, about 5 years ago or so, and I've continued that through today, and I just love every second of doing that.
Just to finish up, obviously painting so many sneakers. Do you have a favorite sneaker?
I it changes, but I think if I had to pick one, it would be the '85 Jordan ones for sure.
Is that the
Yeah,
patent leather one? Is that the patent leather one?
no, that was the 11s, but
Yeah.
here, I actually have a print. I'll show you.
Right on.
Yeah, yeah. So this is a drawing I did of the '85 Jordan ones.
Yeah.
And yeah, so that's my all-time favorite if I had to pick one. And I have, a lot of those in my collection, but I also been recently rocking the low top ones because I just feel
Yeah.
like they're a little bit more casual, more comfortable. So I got quite a few of those in my collection. But yeah, like I said, if I had to pick one, it would go to the Jordan ones for sure.
Very cool. Mine, I got blessed with a pair of Travis Scott
Oh,
Family
nice.
Edition, Warren Moon,
Yeah,
light blue, Oiler color.
nice.
Uh, they're amazing. And when I got them, I almost put them on. And my daughter, who collects sneakers and loves them, she's like, "Dad, those are worth $3,500. Do not wear them." I'm like, come on, there's no shoe worth $3,500. Now it's even worth more. So those are
Yeah,
my
for sure.
favorites. I can't paint, but I certainly love to look at and are still building my collection. More
Nice.
people need to commission Adam. He has great works. If you are either a sports fan or a shoe fan, sneaker fan particularly, and you want to be a part of this and create your own, he is your guy. He will capture what you want to capture, and you can look at it every single day in your home, at your office, or in a gallery. He's an incredible artist, and it's very nice to be a famous artist and still be alive. So you got that going for you too, Adam. Congratulations.
Thanks, David. Real quick, if I could just say, right
Yeah,
now, so recently, a family member of mine was recently diagnosed with scleroderma, which is a rare autoimmune disease. So I recently got involved with the foundation, Scleroderma Research Foundation. I'm running a fundraiser on my website. So for now until the end of the year, if anybody buys a print or an original or commissions a painting, a portion of the proceeds are going to go to funding research and helping find a cure. So I just want to put that out there.
please do. At Art of Adam Port. Check out adamport.com. You can support those causes. We'll see you next time we're in New York. I'll be there November 14th, 15th, and 17th. I'd love
Great.
to invite you to come see us, okay?
Oh, thanks, David. I appreciate it. Nice
Keep
talking
up
with
the
you.
great work, Adam. I love it,
Thanks,
man.
David. Thanks.
Great to
Appreciate
see
it.
you again.
You too. Bye bye.
Adam's done some great stuff. Especially, I remember he did Warren when I was with Sports One Marketing in a charity event in Las Vegas. Really good guy. All right, we got to rock and roll. We're going to be doing our Napoleon Hill Institute training in about 22 minutes at 10:30 a.m. Pacific time. It's free. Come and join us. It's More Good News Wednesday, so I got more good news for everyone. We're going to be in Madison, Wisconsin, Friday, Saturday, Chicago, Sunday. That's the next two cities on our agenda, over 200 cities a year. If you want to be informed or invited, 949-298-2905. Be informed and invited, 949-298-2905. If you don't want to be informed and don't want to be invited, do not text 949-298-2905. Otherwise, you can email me anytime for anything. David at dmeltzer.com. Remember, most importantly, on More Good News Wednesday, be more interested than interesting. Be kind. Be kind to your future self and do good deeds. We'll see you later. God bless you.